right, big breaking news tonight as we have a trade. Matthew Stafford is no longer a Detroit Lion. This was not a surprise. We had heard that Stafford wanted out. He didn't want to be with the Lions. He'd been there for 12 years, 9 years, whatever it may be. Hadn't made it to the playoffs. Wasn't going anywhere. They're going to rebuild. He wanted out. So there was going to be a lot of suitors. The Colts, the Jets, potentially, the 49ers. But when it's all said and done, Matthew Stafford is going to the Los Angeles Rams. And not only is he going to the Rams, but the Rams are shipping off Jared Goff. And it shouldn't be too much of a surprise to fans because as we've seen this year, especially late in the season, Sean McVay and the Rams, they didn't have a whole lot of confidence in Jared Goff. And the fact that they even started John Wofford into the playoffs when Goff was suited up and able to play, Sean McVay was ready to move on. And you credit the Rams and Les Snead, their general manager. They said, hey, we don't trust Jared Goff. We don't think we can win with Jared Goff. Let's go out and let's upgrade. Let's get someone new. And they pulled the trade off, and now they've got Matthew Stafford. And as we see here, the Rams aren't afraid to do what they need to do. They're not afraid to eat money to make a move. We saw this last year with Todd Gurley, a guy that they had under contract that they owed a lot of money to, and they were still willing to say, hey, we just, we don't believe in him, his knee, all that. We cut him, we move on, and they in essence did the same thing here with Jared Goff. And so if we look at the details, let's look at the details of this draft, of this trade. The details are the Los Angeles Rams are getting Matthew Stafford, and that's it. The Detroit Lions, they're getting Jared Goff, but they're also getting 3 draft picks. They're getting a third-round pick in this upcoming draft, the 2021 NFL draft. They're getting the Rams' third-round pick. The Rams don't have a first-round pick. They traded that away to the Jacksonville Jaguars for Jalen Ramsey. So as I said before, they're not afraid to trade away their first-round picks because they also traded 2 of them. So not only do the Detroit Lions get Jared Goff, they get the Rams' 2021, this upcoming draft's third-round pick, and then they get the Rams' next 2 first-round picks in 2022 and 2023. So we're not going to have, it feels like forever since the Rams have had a first-round pick, and we're not going to be having one for them for quite a while. So let's look at this trade. Let's look at it from both point of views, and let's stick with the Rams because that's where I've been spending most of this time so far. It's an upgrade for the Rams. Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. Sure, Jared Goff took and helped get the Rams to the Super Bowl, and he was a former number 1 overall pick, but Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback. If you just put the 2 of them and their traits on the field, Stafford's a better quarterback. He's just been with the Lions, an organization that hasn't been very successful. And Stafford is ultra talented. I think he'll thrive in McVay's system. He's a tough quarterback, and he definitely upgrades them. And if quarterback was a limitation to the Rams and what Sean McVay felt, it's going to be a much upgrade. And the Rams are a team that made the playoffs this year. And so they're already a playoff team, and you get your quarterback better. So you're instantly right now, they're got to be one of the, they're already one of the favorites to win the NFC West. Now does this move probably just puts them over the top. Now they are the favorite, and now we got to talk about, are they a Super Bowl contender? Now the drawbacks for the Rams in this pick, in this trade, is that Stafford has struggled to stay healthy, and he's played in Detroit, a team that hasn't had a lot of success, so they're playing from behind, maybe not the best offensive line at all times, and he's gotten beat up, and he's missed time. And so the Rams have got to hope that, hey, they don't have the best offensive line either. They've got some pieces, but Andrew Whitworth is at the tail end of his career. They've got a couple guys that aren't bad, but it's not like they've got a stellar offensive line. So you got a guy that's been beat up. He's, 32, 33 years old. But his body's got to be closer to 40. And so you got to hope that he can stay healthy. Now, they traded away a bunch of picks. 3 picks. They're not going to have first-round picks for the next couple of years. And that's not the greatest on paper, because first round is usually where you get your good players. That's where you get starters, potential Pro Bowlers, all-pro guys. But if you look at this from the Rams' point of view, if they continue to win, those are picks in that 25 to 32 range. So it's not like they're giving up top 15 picks or top 10 picks. They're giving up back at the end first-round picks that, tend to be a little bit more of a crapshoot. But also to kind of keep an eye on, the Rams have drafted very well. They haven't had first-round picks for quite a while, but they've still drafted good players. Taylor Rapp was a day 2 pick. It's been a good player for them. Okay? And they've just continued to draft well in those middle rounds that have helped give this team some young players that can really help them out. So the Rams are in win mode now. They've made a lot of moves to get them into win mode now. They just put all their chips into the basket or into the middle and said, hey, we're going all in, and we think we have a chance to win a Super Bowl, and we think Matthew Stafford put them over. So now let's look at the Detroit Lions aspect of this. The Lions are in rebuild mode. And Jared Goff didn't play that great, but he's still a quality I still think he's a quality quarterback. Is he a top 10 quarterback in the NFL? No. But he did help the Rams get to a Super Bowl not very long ago. He was the number 1 overall pick not very long ago. Now, he's not very mobile. He's got limitations. But there's a lot of teams. Not a lot of teams. There's teams in the NFL that said, hey, I'd take Jared Goff over Mitchell Trubisky. You look at the Indianapolis Colts. Jacoby Brissett. Potentially Jacob Eason. I'm pretty sure they would rather have Jared Goff than those guys. So Goff gives this team some stability. It's still going to be a rebuild, but he gives them some stability that they're not having to trot out someone who's potentially not ready. And, of course, they get the draft picks. And it doesn't impact them right away. But as we see with Dan Campbell and everything that he said and everything that their new general manager has said is that this is a long-term rebuild. And I think that this trade sets them up for that long term. Jared Goff gives them somebody for now, but it sets them up for long term. And does trading for Jared Goff prevent the Lions from drafting a quarterback in the top 10? They're picking, 7th, 8th this year. So they're in that range to get a quarterback. And there's, I think, 4 good quarterbacks in this draft. 4 elite guys. Trevor Lawrence, who they're not going to have a chance at. Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance. I think they have a shot at one of those 3. Who it is, which one of those 3, we don't know at this point. But they're going to get one of those 3. And you may say, well, they're not going to take it to quarterback. They just got Jared Goff, and look at all that money that he's owed. Well, here's the thing they kind of can't think of, and I didn't think of this right away. When Goff was traded, most of that dead cap money, that was eaten by the Rams. The Lions don't have to really worry about that. Sure, there's some salary cap issues that they could deal with, but he's not on their books for quite a while. They could practically get rid of him after 2 years, no worries about it. And I think they could probably get rid of him even a little bit sooner. So this sets them up to still take the quarterback. If a Justin Fields falls to them, if they like Zach Wilson and he falls to them, they're in a position that they could take him and not rush to get him out. And even if they take, say, a Justin Fields, who right now is my number 2 rated quarterback in the draft, they can sit him, bring him along slowly, and then you just have Jared Goff, who, he's making a bunch of money as a backup, but with the rookie wage scale, they can do that for a year. and have a good backup for a guy like Justin Fields or potentially Zach Wilson. I think the quarterback to kind of keep an eye on for the Lions is North Dakota State's Trey Lance. Trey Lance is a guy that I like. I think I have a first-round grade on him. I think he's very worthy of a top 10 pick, but he's still a bit raw. He's only got 1 year starting at the FCS level. This would be a perfect situation for him because, once again, they don't have to rush him. And I like a lot of what Trey Lance has, but I still think there's some issues that he has to continue to work through, especially throwing with anticipation. And you can sit there and develop that while Jared Goff is out there. And maybe you sit Trey Lance for an entire year and let him develop. Go the Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes sat his entire rookie year. I think a lot of people forget about that he didn't play his first year. And Patrick Mahomes, as awesome as he is, he had flaws coming out of college that I think got worked out with Andy Reid and Matt Nagy as he sat behind Alex Smith. So I think a guy like Trey Lance, if you listen to what Dan Campbell, you listen to what the new general manager have talked about, they want a mobile quarterback, they want a guy with a strong arm. That's Trey Lance. And it's also Justin Fields, and it's also Zach Wilson. But I think the two guys that they really want are Fields and Lance. And if they're sitting there, 7-8, Justin Fields will probably go up there. Trey Lance is probably going to be that fourth quarterback, and he could fall into their laps. Maybe they trade down a little bit because maybe one of those quarterbacks, those other two fall. I think that's a great fit for the Lions, and I think as on paper you're like, oh, they got rid of Stafford, and I think they won this trade, and if they build this team the right way, I think this trade will go down as a big win for the Detroit Lions. So overall, I think it's a win for both organizations. I know that's not maybe the sexy thing to say. I think the Rams got their quarterback that could get them contending for a Super Bowl right now. I think the Lions got some picks and a bridge quarterback that allows them to build to where they want to be.